I was an orphan lost at the fall, running away when I hear you call. But Father, you worked your way. I had no righteousness of my own, I had no right to draw near your throne. But Father, you loved me instead. And in love before you laid the world's foundation, you predestined to adopt me as your own. You have raised me up so high above my station. I'm a child of God by grace and grace alone. You left your home to seek out the lost. You knew the great and terrible cost, but Jesus, your face was set. I worked my fingers down to the bone, but nothing I did could ever atone. But Jesus, you paid my debt, and by your blood I have redemption and salvation. Lord, you died that I might reap what you have sown, and you rose that I might be a new creation. I am born again by grace and grace alone. I was in darkness all of my life, I never knew the day from the night, but Spirit, you made me see. I swore I knew the way on my own, my head full of rocks, a heart made of stone, but Spirit, you moved in me, and at your touch my sleeping spirit was awakened. On my darkened heart the light of Christ has shone, called into a kingdom that cannot be shaken, heaven's citizen by grace and grace alone. So I'll stand in faith by grace and grace alone. I will run the race by grace and grace alone, and I will slay my